my new book that comes out in a couple weeks, number 20, my 20th book, Sexy Forever. Because I think we've got to think more long-term than right at present. And the most asked question on the internet is my subtitle, How to Lose Fat After 40. Did you know that's the most asked question on the internet? And so who I think that really is the best group to target right now are the 40-year-olds, because they're starting to not feel well. The women my age, 50, 60, they're kind of getting it, if they're getting it. These 70-year-olds are really kind of lost, the females anyway, because they've been with their gynecologist so long, and they're on that Premarin, they're on that Prozac, they take Valium, they're on blood pressure medicine. It's the template that orthodox medicine has put in place is so wrong. Drug them up. Instead of the language, itchy, bitchy, sleepy, sweaty, bloated, forgetful, and all dried up, instead of looking at that as a language, why does my leg itch? Why am I sweating? Why am I bloating? Why am I bitchy? Why do I not have a sex drive? That's a language, and I keep talking to women saying, your body has smarts and intellect, and it's talking to you all the time, but you go to your doctor, your orthodox doctor, and you say, I can't sleep. Well, no problem, we'll give you Ambien, or that one with the butterfly that comes and sits on your shoulder. Doesn't that one look nice? Butterfly comes in through the window, it's all pretty, and then it lands on your shoulder, and whoever's there just kind of goes into this wonderful sleep, which is not sleep, as you know, it's a suspended state. None of the healing hormone work happens. That's the first drug women get on. Then the depression, because everybody's upset with them at the house, because they're not in a good mood, because they don't sleep, and they're hot and fat. Who feels good when they're tired, hot, and fat? I'm tired, hot, and fat, but I'm happy. No, you're not. You're not. You're not happy. So the cocktail, the menopause cocktail, and the andropause cocktail, because when I talk to young men, even men in their 40s, they're all taking Ambien. All of them, all the executive type young men in their 40s. They can't sleep, can't turn off the noise. And I look at them and I think, you're ready for a heart attack. Your cortisol's so messed up at 40. You're so A-type. So instead of orthodox medicine listening to the symptoms as a language, they have a pill. And they have a pill for every symptom. Started, as you know, at the turn of the century by that wonderful guy, Abraham Flexner, who was hired by the two richest families in America, the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, who owned pharmaceutical companies. Brilliant, brilliant business template. They sent Abraham to the Institutes of Higher Learning, Mayo, Johns Hopkins, First Presbyterian, all the institutes of higher learning, offering funding in perpetuity if they would only teach allopathic. And I look at that as the beginning and the end of us. That's when big business got a hold of our health. That's when big business got a hold of the health of the nation. How do you fight it at this point? You can't. With my cancer book last year, vilified again for daring to say there are other ways to treat cancer, for daring to say, as Dr. Gonzalez told me, cancer is manageable. I said, what do you mean? He said, you give cancer what it wants, it'll leave you alone. I said, what does it want? He said, it wants nutrition, it wants a detox body. Well, I've talked to his patients, because to all the doctors I interviewed in Knockout, Dr. Brzezinski, Dr. Forsyth, Dr. Gonzalez, all of them, when they would tell me about the successes, not 100%, but major successes they're having, so much more than the present template of oncology. I said, it's all well and good, but I got to talk to your patients. I got to see if this is really for real. I was sitting in New York with these two old ladies. One was 76 and one was 81. One had stage 4 ovarian. I said, when were you diagnosed? She said, 17 years ago. I said, 17 years ago. She said, yeah, I just do whatever Dr. Gonzalez tells me. I said, really? You mean, are you going to do coffee enemas every day for the rest of your life? She said, yeah, and I like French roast. The 81-year-old sitting there, she had stage 4 breast cancer, same thing. So what if I have to take a coffee enema every day? So what if I have to take pancreatic enzymes? So what? And that's what I feel. Writing the cancer book did the greatest thing for me, took away my fear of cancer. I don't think I'll ever get it again, but if I do, I know, depending on the cancer, which doctor and which protocol that I would utilize. That's very empowering. Because right now, with cancer, this year being the biggest killer in the world, as you know, biggest killer in the world, everybody is ducking and weaving. Everybody thinks it's like some ninja warrior out there, and God, I hope it doesn't get me. And what I learned writing this book is how interesting. There are things you can do to not get cancer, and it's kind of easy. Dr. Brzezinski told me about the cancer protective genetic switches that we all have within us that get turned off by diet and lifestyle. Like what? I said. He said, well, he said, you turn off one with chemicals. He said, you turn off one with eating food that's not organic. You turn off one by not sleeping. You turn off one by not managing your stress. And you turn off one by having imbalanced hormones. I always thought hormones had something to do with this. To me, anti-aging begins and ends with balanced hormones. So look, if all these are off, you got a pretty good shot. You're going to get cancer. You're living with chemicals. You're eating food that is not organic. I ask in my new book, if you went to the grocery store and instead of it saying organic, it said poison food and non-poisonous food, what would you choose? And I always say, well, it's more expensive. I go, it's your life. Do without the shoes. Okay, so women, they'll get the shoes. They won't get the hormones. They won't get the organic food. Organic food tastes so much better. Okay, so we got all these turned off. You're in bad shape. You've got all these turned off because most people are not eating organic food. Most people have chemicals everywhere in their life. Most people aren't sleeping. Most people are stressed out to the max. And most people have imbalanced hormones. So, doesn't it make sense that the first thing you do is get those hormones balanced? Learn about bioidentical hormone replacement. Wow, what a life-changing experience being hormonally balanced. It's like, to feel this good every day, to not be bloating, to not have the problems that I was experiencing during those 3 long years. And what you have to know about me at this point of all the years I've been in front of the American public is I'm a happy, upbeat person. Once I got over my low self-esteem, I just saw every day as a gift. I just saw every day as an opportunity. What can I do that's great today? During those 3 years, I remember my husband, who adores me, said to me one day, you know, a marriage can only take so much of this. And I realized, oh my God, you take it out on the person you love the most because I'm tired, and I'm fat, and I don't feel good, and I don't feel like sex. I mean, I could do it, but I'd rather have a smoothie, you know. Oh, things have changed. I'm wearing him out now. So nice. The kids are gone. House is all ours again. We raised them. We educated them. It's the best. If all the people who were afraid of aging could know how great it is to feel good, to be sexual, and to have wisdom. Wisdom. When I watch the orthodox medicine template of aging, the menopause cocktail, the drugs, and I see that after about 10 years of all the drugs, and then it increases, there are more and more drugs that come. Tackle box. Got to hire somebody now to help take care of your mom because she can't remember if she took what she's going to take, what she's supposed to take. I don't remember. And then she starts doing things, or your father starts doing things that make you so worried because I'm afraid they're going to burn the house down, and she can't drive anymore. I'm so nervous when she's out driving. And then the next thing you hear at cocktail party talk is, well, I didn't want to, but it's a really nice home. And she gets to take her own furniture. And I'm thinking, this route to the nursing home, I am not going to end up in a nursing home, are you? No. And if you don't want to end up in a nursing home, then you got to start right now. You can't wait until you're like your mother or your aunt or your grandmother. I just buried my last living aunt, my Auntie Helen. Love her. She was a pistol. She's the only one who ever used to stand up to my father. She'd say, "You're a pill." Loved it, because my mother was very nervous around him all day. We were all so nervous. We walked on eggshells and were just trying to do anything to keep him happy. I never thought, if I could just be a better daughter, he wouldn't have to drink so much. I thought it was my fault that he drank, that I was just such an awful person. My brother had said to me one time, after a horrible episode, and there were so many horrible episodes, we actually had a closet in our house that we had rigged a lock on the inside on the really bad nights, which was most nights, that my mother would come round us up and she'd say, "He's at it again," and she'd pull us all out of our beds and bring us up to the closet, and we would sleep in the closet and listen to the monster downstairs. Can you imagine living in a house where you had to sleep in a closet so you wouldn't get killed for a minute? We did it for years, and we kept the secret, and we didn't let anybody know. And when I'd go to school and the nuns would say, "Why didn't you ever have your homework done?" It just reinforced that I was stupid, but I couldn't say, how do I do homework when people are beating one another up and dishes are flying around the house and pots are being thrown at one another? They're pile-ups. When I was keeping secrets, it was like I could take the roof off of our little white house with a white picket fence, and when I looked down, I was horrified at what I saw. I was horrified at what we all lived with. And then we all acted out in our own way. My sister became a raging alcoholic, been recovering for 20 years now. My brother Dan became a major alcoholic. He's also been recovering. My little brother became a drug addict and an alcoholic. He didn't make it. And I had the lowest self-esteem of anyone my therapist had ever met. What happens to us as children affects who we will be as adults. But the great thing is you can change, and you can grab your potential, and you can make an impact on life and make it work for you, like judo, using strength to win. So I don't speak with notes, so I go off on tangents a little bit. But I think I was talking about sex. Burying my aunt. Thank you. Got to up that estrogen a little.